We'll be discussing a lot about service and how you can get involved during this time, and a little bit about our partners as well. So to start off, we're going to introduce ourselves.
Okay, so hey everyone, my name is Marissa Ding, and I'm originally from the Minnesota-Dakota District, more specifically Minnesota. And I've been in KeyClub since freshman year as a general member, but last year I also served on the Minnesota-Dakota District Board as the Division 7C Lieutenant Governor. And currently as an IT, I serve the West Virginia, Michigan, and Bahamas districts, so the West Bahamas district. And in terms of my favorite service activity, I love anything involving hospitality, interacting with others, and creating just bonds and special connections.
All right, so hi everyone, my name is Lena Oswald. I'm a junior from the Illinois Eastern Iowa District, and this year I have the privilege of serving Rocky Mountain, Indiana, and Eastern Canada as the international trustee, so go Rock, Indiana. So my previous experience, I was able to serve as a district lieutenant governor last year, which was such a blast, and I've been a member since freshman year. And some of my favorite service activities include anything interacting with others or meeting new people, just things where you're able to see the impact you're making.
And lastly, my name is Eddie Way, and I'm from Ames, Iowa, from the Nebraska-Iowa district. Previously, I was a district lieutenant governor and a club secretary. I've been a part of KeyClub since my freshman year, and this year as an international trustee, I'll be serving the districts of Alabama, Missouri, Arkansas, and Montana. My favorite service activity is to do anything with kids, so that can be from tutoring to volunteering at like TrickOrTreat for UNICEF events where we engage our community. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Okay, so before we get into the stuff about our workshop, we're just gonna go over it really quick. Here are kind of the things we're gonna be talking about today. So first, we're gonna go over like why service, why I should be volunteering, getting involved in your community, all that good stuff. And then we're gonna go over some service project ideas and tips on how to execute them. Then we're gonna move on to just a segment about all the service partners that KeyClub works with. There's a lot, and we've got a new one coming up, so yes, it'll be exciting. And then we're just gonna talk about like serving on an international committee. You get to interact with us. We're gonna go, speak a little loud, okay. We're gonna go over the service directory real quick, the international service directory. And then at the end, we're gonna have time for a Q&A, so you can talk to us just about any questions you have about KeyClub and service. So yeah.
So to start off, we're going to talk about why service is important. As KeyClubbers, we often are engaged in volunteering, giving back, but sometimes we forget why we do it in the first place. So one of the main benefits of volunteering is developing a heart for giving. And this is really important because not only are you benefiting yourself by increasing your self-confidence and getting a natural feeling of accomplishment, but you're also giving back to those in need. And sometimes I know like KeyClub maybe doing some sort of service event that you're not passionate about, but finding what you truly enjoy is really important, and doing what makes you happy and what makes you feel like you are playing an active role in the community is really important. So along with that, volunteering gives a great opportunity to make new friends and foster meaningful relationships. So while I volunteer, I like to catch up with my friends and see what they've been up to, but also I get to meet new community leaders in my town. And also it's a great way to foster relationships that can be used in the future. So if you are trying to build your resume and you're trying to get maybe an internship or something along those lines, having those relationships is super beneficial.
All right, so we're going to take you through a couple amazing service project ideas. So a couple things about the COVID pandemic. While it is harder to do in-person service, the pandemic has opened up a whole variety of virtual options that you and your club can still do to engage your members. So one of the first ones you can do is make and sanitize masks using online tutorials. And you can donate those to local schools, homeless shelters, nursing homes, places where there'd be a need. You can also host a food drive collecting canned food, and you can donate that to local food shelves for those who might be struggling right now. And of course, you can always do one of those card campaigns that's been going really big for local assisted living facilities. And this is just a really great way to interact with your community and let those people know that they're not alone.
Yeah, so kind of expanding on those letters, card campaigns, there's just so many ways to give thanks to the people in our lives who are just working really hard to support us in this time. So as a club, a big thing you guys have probably heard is making like thank you videos or cards. Thank you videos for teachers are really cute, just to show appreciation for how much they've had to go through during this time and all the effort they put in to create lessons, especially if you're like fully distance learning, like I am, and I know a lot of you guys probably are too. But also like thank you letters for mail workers, essential workers, people working at nursing homes, all that good stuff, cards, letters, those are all super nice to kind of produce as a club and then distribute. And then just for a couple organizations that do letter-related work. So one is called Neighborly. It sends letters to the elderly population. And the other one is Love Letters for Literacy, which provides handmade packets to pre-readers to promote early child literacy in at-risk neighborhoods. So if you have some more questions about that, like feel free to reach out to us or reach out to like your Gov, LTG, or international trustee.
So another thing that can help your club really engage members is having a signature project. And this is something that works all the time, not just during your virtual service. So a signature project is something that your club does every year, something your club is known for. Some examples of this, you know, maybe you have like a pageant or a talent show or a carnival, something that is big in your community and helps get your Key Club members out into the community, engaged with everyone, and helps people know what Key Club's all about. So these can help make your Key Club special, make your members very interested in what's going on. And I highly, highly recommend developing one of these with your club if you haven't already. And if you already have one and you're struggling to figure out how to translate that to a virtual setting, there's lots of people who are very willing to help you with that, and brainstorming alternatives to your signature projects in a virtual space would be super beneficial to keep your club afloat during this pandemic.
So next, we just have some tips when you are planning service projects and events during this time. So since we're trying to limit contact between members and various people in your community, we suggest creating some sort of drop-off location for your service projects. So for our club, I know we made masks. So we had a place where you could pick up masks and drop off masks to engage your members through service, but also make sure that we're still being safe. And then another very important thing to do these days is to promote on social media. I know a lot of clubs do this already, but probably only on Instagram. We really suggest you expand to Facebook, because not only is there a feature where you can like create an event, but also a lot of adults are on Facebook, such as Kiwanians, and getting them involved and having them in the know is really important when you're developing service projects. And finally, a really good idea is to make video tutorials and resources for your club service projects. So especially for new members that are coming in this year, they may not know about events that you host every single year or projects that you do every single year. And if they don't know how to do it, then it's really difficult to engage them. So we really suggest maybe creating some sort of video tutorial on how to do your service project or how to expand the impact a member can create.
Okay, so now we're going to be talking about all our service partners that we work with as part of Key Club. So the first one, this is the biggest one that we kind of do work with, is UNICEF, which is the United Nations Children's Fund, aka a UN agency that works in more than 190 countries and territories to put children first. UNICEF has helped save children's lives by providing healthcare and immunizations, safe water and sanitation, nutrition, education, and emergency relief, and more. And KeyClub International partners with UNICEF through various programs and across the entirety of our organization. So we're going to go into those branches a little more.
So first, we're going to talk about the Illuminate Project, which is one of the biggest things that we do. Currently, it is Trick or Treat for UNICEF season, so that is where the money we raise will go to, as well as we have the Illuminate Week in the spring. So the Illuminate Project, just to give you a good overview on what it is, it's a joint effort between Kiwanis International and UNICEF, and the whole purpose is to eliminate maternal and neonatal tetanus. This disease is really deadly, and it's also really heartbreaking to see because the babies who suffer from it go through excruciating like effects such as painful conversions, and then they can't see, and then they can't touch, and everything's just super painful. So currently we are trying to raise around over $3 million for this campaign. And by doing so, we can eliminate MNT across the world. So this is a really easy way to raise money because it's only $1.20 for one immunization. So just a small impact can, just a small donation can create a large impact.
So like Eddie just mentioned, Trick or Treat for UNICEF is one of our largest campaigns that we do to benefit the Illuminate Project. So we've been doing Trick or Treat for UNICEF since 1950, and it's basically just a tradition where, like trick-or-treating, you go door to door, except you ask people for change and donations for UNICEF and the Illuminate Project. So these donations have helped fund the Illuminate Project, especially for KeyClub, and it's one of our biggest ways we fundraise. Since 2011, donations from this project have raised over 180 million US dollars for UNICEF. So this year, because of COVID and quarantine, Trick or Treat for UNICEF will be virtual. So advisors can go to trickortreatforunicef.org and use the code TOT-Kiwanis to sign up right now. And throughout the rest of October, clubs can fundraise and raise awareness for UNICEF and the Illuminate Project and still help this amazing cause.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to a different partner, the Thirst Project. So the Thirst Project is a nonprofit organization that works with the help of young people to end the global water crisis. They focus on building freshwater wells in developing countries and communities that need safe, clean drinking water. Because providing a community with safe drinking water can lower disease rates by up to 88% virtually overnight. And child mortality rates can also drop, obviously a very large percentage. Basically, women and children travel an average of 3.75 miles and spend an average of 6 to 8 hours each day walking to fetch water. And just the time they spend doing this prevents them from getting an education, basically experiencing, I guess, a typical childhood. And we can also, we're also going to suggest some service project ideas to go along with this. So one is kind of selling things for the Thirst Project. So one of our other fellow international trustees, Jordan Reichart from Rocky Mountain, sells kind of her own art, and the proceeds all go to the Thirst Project. So just a good example, blank for Thirst Project is always a great kind of branding thing. And then also there's this thing where you carry a water jug around and have people donate to you for however long you're able to hold it. Just activities focused around water, little competitions of strength, stuff like that are always a fun way to get money raised and people involved in helping to end the global water crisis.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute. Anyways, so next is March of Dimes, and this one also works to improve the health of babies. They're really focused on premature birth and the side effects that can create. So some of these complications are really detrimental to their health, and they're just really working towards creating this. So you can fundraise for March of Dimes similarly to what you do for Thirst Project. But also one thing that we did last year is you can write letters to families and mothers who are going through premature births and are having these sort of difficult times. So that's another great way to get involved and work with March of Dimes. And then another partner is Children's Miracle Network. So many Key Clubbers or students just in your school may know of Children's Miracle Network because they host dance marathons. So basically, Children's Miracle Network focuses on children as well. They're working to save children's lives through their hospitals. One of the things that Key Club specifically does is we participate in the Children's Miracle Treat Day. So if you go to Dairy Queen on that specific day, I believe it's in July every single year, then a portion of the proceeds will go to the Children's Miracle Network Hospital. So this is a great way to get some food and also contribute to an amazing organization.
All right, so Erikas Lighthouse is actually a partner in formation, so it's super exciting to be able to announce this to you guys. But basically, Erikas Lighthouse is dedicated to educating and raising awareness about adolescent depression, encouraging good mental health, and breaking down the stigma surrounding mental health issues. So we're super excited to begin working with a mental health partner, especially Erikas Lighthouse, because they provide amazing resources, programs, and support to your school and any teens to help combat adolescent depression and raise awareness for something that is such a big issue for teens and everyone.
So now we're going to talk about a different way to serve in Key Club. So besides just participating in your club's service projects, you can also serve on an international committee. So you can serve on an international committee by being a member representative. And basically in this position, you get to work alongside the international board and you get to contribute your ideas alongside us in our committees. So this opportunity is open to any Key Clubber on the club level and on the district level, as long as you're not in an executive position, such as governor, secretary, treasurer, bulletin editor, webmaster. And if you work with us, then you not only get the chance to learn a little bit more about the functions of the international board and how committees work, but also you get a great opportunity to build your resume inside and outside of Key Club. So if you're planning on running for a club, district, or international position in the future, having this background, having this opportunity, having this experience would be super beneficial. And this opportunity is open to freshmen through seniors. So even if you are in your first year at Key Club and you want to get involved on the international level, you definitely can. So if you want to apply, you can use the link tree in our Instagram bio. We will also post it in this chat, so it's easier for you to access. The deadline is October 27th at 11:59 Eastern time, so it is coming up. And if you do get selected to be a committee member representative, your time commitment would be around 30 minutes to 2 hours a week. That's like just doing work by yourself. And then also you will be participating and engaging in hour-long bi-weekly meetings.
So this year we have two main committees that you can serve on. So I'm going to take you through Programs and Partners, which is the committee that Eddie and I are serving on this year. So each committee is broken down into subcommittees. So for Programs and Partners, we of course have the Programs Subcommittee. They're in charge of grading Youth Opportunities Fund grant submissions, as well as working on Key Club Week, Culture of Care, and other themed days. So they're just focused on programs that help you make service possible. We also have the Partners Subcommittee, which is the one that Eddie and I both serve on. So we reevaluate current partnerships, such as the ones we just took you through, and we brainstorm and research new partners. Just like Erikas Lighthouse, we have a ton of other partners that we're reaching out to and trying to make your membership experience as amazing as it can possibly be. Additionally, there's the Kiwanis Family Subcommittee, which is made up of myself and fellow trustee Andrew West, as well as our chair, Emma Chang. And we focus on forming stronger international relationships with the other branches of the Kiwanis family. So specifically Circle K and Kiwanis, we work a lot with them to create strategies that promote collaboration, and we have some fun social media things hopefully coming up that you guys can interact with and learn more about the rest of our Kiwanis family. So if you decide to be a member representative, this is one of the committees that you can help with.
And then the other one of our international committees this year is the Global Outreach or Global Relations Committee, which is one I'm on, and we have 3 subcommittees. So first we have the International Growth Subcommittee, which kind of works on establishing connections and finding representatives for a variety of our unrestricted regions. You'll notice that in the chat, we got some Philippines key covers popping off, so that's one of the areas we're working on reaching out to, forming more connections with. And then we also provide resources and instruction to those areas on chartering, growth, and more, especially for representatives. And then the members of that subcommittee are trustees Glory Kalu, Melanie Kim, and Emma Brainerd. And then for the Diversity and Equity Subcommittee, which I am part of, we're working on developing a guideline or module for reporting biases, prejudice, bigotry, or discrimination within any structures of KeyClub International. That's in the works, so stay tuned for that. And then we also work on Truly International and its programs and events. And then I'm also on the Communications Subcommittee, which is me and Melanie, and we work on translating KeyClub resources and materials, and we're going to start creating monthly newsletter updates and maintaining constant communication with undistributed clubs. And oh, I forgot to mention that me and Gloria are diversity and equity. But yeah, if you're interested in working with the kind of global aspect of KeyClub, it really is an international organization. So if that kind of floats your boat more and you want to kind of focus on improving diversity within KCI as well, this is definitely the committee for you.
So now we're going to move on and talk about the service directory. So the service directory is a place for key clubbers to share projects and draw on inspiration. So if I move on to the next slide, this is what it looks like on the website. And if you go here, you can just submit a project that you found to be really engaging and really beneficial for your club. And then other key clubs can look at it and see if it also works for them. This is a great thing to do right now in this pandemic because virtual service projects are very limited and ideas are pretty dry. So definitely make sure to work on, definitely make sure to utilize this feature and let us know if you have any questions on how to submit a project.
Okay, so now we're gonna open it up for a Q&A. I'm not sure if we're able to have the chat box on. Hopefully we can, but if not, you can just message us privately, I believe. That should work. Just any questions about service, Key Club, member reps, anything in general that you want to talk to us about.
So I got a couple questions. So the first one is, can we do these alone or with family instead of having a group of friends virtually? And I believe that was in reference to some of our COVID ideas. And absolutely, you can do these with anyone, but they work really well at the club level, definitely. Also, I got a question from May. Is TrickOrTreat for UNICEF only for US Key Clubs? So it's not. In the past, there's been some issues where they won't ship the boxes, but anyone can do TrickOrTreat for UNICEF, especially this year, considering it is virtual. It's open to anyone, and we want all of our clubs to be able to support. Oh, it's only US? Okay, well, it's only US, so. Okay. Someone told me it wasn't before.
Okay, I got a couple questions too. So the first one was, how has Key Club transformed your personality and kind of what skill sets have you gained from it that you plan to use in your future career paths? So I'd say Key Club has definitely helped me become like a lot more open, kind of good at a lot better at public speaking and just talking to people of this overall. Like I come from a pretty diverse high school, so I'm used to being in that sort of environment. But I guess I'll just kind of elaborate on my like Key Club journey a little bit. Basically, like just service overall helped me just become a lot better at talking to others, really helped me improve my social skills. And so I think like the biggest part for me of being international is the people. So through Key Club, I've really kind of gained inspiration from others on how to be like the best version of yourself. Just met so many cool people, and you know, I feel like it just makes me a cooler person to be around those people. So yeah. And then let's see. Yeah. someone asked how my day was. It's been pretty good. Thank you. And then another one was, how do you recommend getting involved as a newcomer to KeyClub in order to make these years memorable? So I can talk about that a little bit too, especially because as a freshman and sophomore in high school, I'm a senior now, but I wasn't really involved in KeyClub like much. I was just a general member. I kind of did it for hours. But I think getting involved as a newcomer, definitely make sure you're attending every single like meeting, attending every single event, reaching out to like club leadership if you're not already in that. But a big way is to go to district events. District events, like I had never gone to DCOM before my junior year, but that really was like my KeyClub moment. It really sealed the deal on me, really loving like what I was doing as like a KeyClubber. So I would say go to district events and run for higher leadership, because it really pushes you as a person and helps you connect with so many more people. Then anybody else has questions?
I can answer a question. So Nicholas asked, what qualities are KeyClub international committees looking for in member reps? So it depends on which committee you're applying to, but in general, we want people that will take initiative and share their ideas. We want people that will go above and beyond. We want people that will just provide a member perspective and a new perspective that trustees sometimes forget about. So, but like if you're applying to like specific committees, I know the Global Relations Committee is really looking for people who could speak multiple languages, who can translate materials, and also just people who really are passionate about like diversity and what ideas they have for increasing that in KeyClub International. And then for the programs and partners ones, we got people who have really new ideas for like what partners they're interested in, and how they want to interact, and how we as international board members can provide new opportunities for members. Hopefully that answered your question. That was a little rough.
Okay, Lena, if you need anything, you can say anything. But I just wanted to, I think it'd be good for all of us to address this question. This question was about like, what advice would you give on becoming more involved in KeyClub on the international level? So I'm gonna just say, like, I personally have not been to ICON. Like, I know I was really kind of just not it as an earlier KeyClubber, but I think attending ICON for sure, or attending like SLC that was online this year, those are just good ways. You get to kind of be introduced to trustees and board members and interact with them in this way. And I know like one person, it's just a great way to make those like global connections, really experience those like just the bonding and like depth involved in KeyClub. But then like running for trustee, that's kind of like a whole nother thing. For that, I'd recommend talking to like your gov, talking to IT for your district. Overall for trustee, we don't need to go into this like super detailed, but I think like it just make sure you have like concrete reasoning and know, like really feel like you're suited for that role. Because it's definitely a lot to take on, and it can be a lot to handle sometimes. So if you guys want to elaborate on that.
Yeah, I think Marissa did a really good job summing everything up, but just making sure you're taking full advantage of every opportunity that comes your way. Even just being here, you're doing so much to be engaged at the international level. Also, I did get a message from a member from Jamaica who has participated in TrickOrTreat for UNICEF in the past. So while the actual campaign may be US based, it's still possible to get involved and help raise money for Eliminate. Do you have any more questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Well, someone asked me a question. How can I encourage my friends into joining my local KeyClub? So for me, I would say that KeyClub is a great way to engage in service, because we provide a lot of service opportunities that are difficult to find sometimes. We have great leadership building experiences. Coming to this event is just already taking a step into that direction, because like just engaging yourself in our district conventions, our fall rallies, stuff like that. It's just a great way for you to catapult you into some sort of position later on in your KeyClub career, whether that's like on the club, district, or international level. And also, it's just a great way to meet friends. I've met some of my best friends through this organization, and honestly, I can't imagine my high school career without KeyClub. Lena, Marissa, do you guys have anything to add on to that?
Wait, I'm answering some questions while typing, so
yeah, I just think gentle persistence is the best way to get your friends to do it. I mean, I'm sure they might be a little overwhelmed with your passion every once in a while. I know it's a problem that I've had trying to get my friends to join, But I think just letting them know about why you're so passionate, why you have all these amazing experiences and you've met so many amazing people, like Eddie said, and that's really the best way to get them to want to have those experiences and opportunities as well.
I have another question. Well, I hate saying it this way. I got another question to be answered. What's your favorite service project that you have done? So I guess we can all answer this one. I would say my favorite service project is Trunk or Treat. This is a thing that we've done every single year, except for this year because of the circumstances. But basically, we had a bunch of clubs in our school park in the parking lot, and then we would decorate the trunk of our car, and then we would host like a mini trick-or-treating event for the little kids in our community. So this was really fun because it was a great way to interact with kids, which I really love to do. And it was just really nice to see that like a bunch of organizations in our school all came together to host this event. So that was one of my favorite activities.
Yeah, so for me, my school, we have a lot of different service clubs, and every year all of our service clubs all come together for a week of fundraising and raising awareness for St. Jude's Children's Hospital, which is part of Children's Miracle Network. So this is just a full week of everyone in our school just coming together and having all these different fundraisers and stuff, and it all ends in like a dodgeball tournament and a school-wide carnival. And it's super inspiring to see my whole community just coming together for one amazing cause. And it's a really great way for everyone to, I don't know, just get involved in something that means a lot to a lot of people in our community.
Oh, and then I was asked a question about like some skills. So it's like just like some things you've learned while being more involved in KeyClub, or some skills you think are helpful as being trustees. But I think this can also apply to being leaders in general. So I'd say being more involved in KeyClub definitely means like strong organization skills, strong time management, and like also knowing like it really like it depends on how much you want to take on. Like you get as much out of it as you put into it, but don't bite off more than you or don't bite off more than you can chew. I think that's the phrase. But yeah, like lay out everything you need to do. Make sure you like have set up like schedule and stuff like that. But also make sure to like take breaks for yourself. Make sure that you're like not burning out or whatever, because when that happens, obviously it really sucks. And like another big thing is to like again make those friendships, reach out to people. Like the biggest thing you can do in reaching out if you're like struggling in KeyClub, or if you just like want help or information on something, is to reach out to people, because there are obviously good resources all around you. So yes.
I just got a question from Kimberly Sylvia. It asks, can anyone join? Can you elaborate on what that is about, please?
Meanwhile, I can answer another question. So someone asked, how can you still be involved internationally when you go to college? So KeyClub is a part of Kiwanis, which is an international organization, and we have a lot of youth programs outside KeyClub. So you may know about like Builders Club, that's for middle school students, and K Kids, which is for like elementary school students. So after KeyClub, we have Circle K, which is the college level of like this organization, and you can still engage in service, you can still be part of the K family and do a lot of fun stuff that Circle K exclusively offers. And then if you don't choose to like go to college, or you choose that Circle K isn't right for you, you can just join a local Kiwanis club and continue your service journey through that.
Okay, so if we don't have like any more questions, I guess as service related, we can kind of talk about sorry, just let me train of thought, but we can kind of talk about like honestly running for trustee a little more because I got like a question about that. Basically, the whole process of running for trustee, it was like it all happened honestly like pretty fast for me because I went from like not a lot of involvement to like being an LTG, like really involved LTG, and then like obviously being a candidate. So I think I've kind of been telling my district board members who are thinking about running is just like getting an overview of the like do as much research into international as possible. On international, you obviously are assigned to committees and you have committee work, which is exciting, but you do have to like realize that you are like working with a lot of different people who have like different time commitments, and sometimes like you have to realize that the way you want things to progress isn't the way necessarily that things can work. And on international, like I guess I don't really know how to describe it because we haven't even gone like super far in the year, but there are definitely pros and cons. And if you're like, especially if you're like young and you're like a sophomore or you're like a freshman or something, like I definitely say get established on the district board. Make sure you're like really, really solid with the idea that you're like okay with kind of leaving the district board behind. Okay with making that next big step, because for me I was kind of like feeling that way. I was like I don't really feel like returning to district board next year. So that was part of my reasoning, but also make sure like you've got like solid experience, and don't like do trustee just for the cloud, or don't do trustee like just for the resume or whatever. Like you can always tell like in past years if people have like been on the international board for those reasons, and like that's obviously not like it's not the way things should go. Make sure you're really, really passionate, and that it will show, and then you'll be elected. Like it's definitely like it's obviously a process with elections and everything, especially if they're going to be online, which obviously we're not sure about if they're going to be online or not this year. But yeah, make sure you're doing it from the heart is what I would say. And then Eddie, Lena, if you guys want to elaborate on your running for trustee process, I guess we can talk about that if we don't have any service questions for now.
Yeah, I have a kind of a related question. What points would you suggest to put on a position resume that would look really great? I think just any leadership opportunity that you've had in the past is super important when you're going into running for any position, not just trustee. So related to that, taking advantage of every opportunity that you're given is super important, especially if you think that running for international is something that could be in your future. Additionally, just any awards that you've received, or just different ways that you've helped serve within KeyClub and within other organizations as well. That's something that is taken into account. But I think that, yeah, that's one of the super important things about running for any position, but especially international, because it's such a competitive race. There were a ton of candidates last year, and that really added to a lot of the like stress and fear factor of it almost. But I think my biggest advice is just being confident in what you've done and in who you are as a leader is super important, and just remembering why you're running and why you're in KeyClub in the first place. Remembering those little moments that make you so passionate about KeyClub and service and what you're doing is really the best way that you can just show who you are as a leader and remain confident in your decisions and in running for any office. So, anyone have anything else to add?
Before I talk about that, I just got another question and a little comment about my previous question on how to get involved internationally after high school. So someone mentioned how you can join Kiwanis Young Professionals, which is found in major cities, and it's just another great way to stay in the K family and get involved in your community. And then I also got another question. It asked how, like what places you can hold a drive if your school does not allow donations to be dropped off there. So this can definitely present an issue, but it can easily be solved if you have like a club officer who is willing to let them put like who's willing to set up a drop-off box at their house, just like on their driveway or like on their yard. That's a great solution to that issue. Or if that's not the case, you can maybe ask a local church or a local community organization that would be willing for you to use just like that space. So yeah, thank you. If we don't have any more questions. Never mind, I just got a question.
Okay, so yeah, if you have questions, like please reach out to us privately. We are really happy to answer anything because we do have to wrap up soon. So if you want to go to the next slide.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, thank you for attending our workshop and also the Global Engagement Rally as a whole. We were so excited to present this to you guys, and we hope that you learned something more about service or just KeyClub in general. I know that some of you guys may have some follow-up questions, so definitely reach out to us with our emails or our Instagram handles below. So thank you again for attending, and we hope to see you soon.
Yep, thanks for coming, everyone. We had a great time at the ever Global Leadership or Global Engagement Rally. And yeah, keep on leading, keep on serving, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.
Oh, plus if you follow me, I will follow back. So I'm a real one.
Same here.
Thank you, everybody. It was so nice to talk to you guys.
Yeah, definitely.